All right, guys, how's it going? It is time for another today's exclusive. Now, the only thing is I've already done one today's exclusive. So this is the second one. And I don't like doing more than one in a day, to be honest with you, because it fucks up the naming of it all. Do you know what I mean? Because it can't be today's exclusive if there's two, because it's exclusive. Do you know what I'm saying? Can someone come up with a suggestion, please? I don't know how to name them. The idea was to pick one a day, but I can't ignore them, guys, because they're so interesting, they're so good. You can't go 5 minutes on the internet without another exclusive, can you, concerning Liverpool? And it's always the same fucking people. So I can't read the entire article to you. I'm not allowed to. I'm allowed to analyse it. So I leave out bits that are self-explanatory. If they're talking about a Liverpool player, you obviously know who that player is. If it mentions, Liverpool that have just won the league, you know all that, right? So another thing as well I like to say when I do these is, remember, if you're visiting a website that's unfamiliar to you and you're reading a claim and wondering if it could be true about Liverpool, always judge it on the amount of adverts on the website. The more adverts, the more bullshit, right? That's how I work with it all. So anyway, let's go with it. I've not read it yet. It is by courtout.com, courtoffside.com. And it's titled Exclusive. Saudis eye €160 million double Liverpool transfer raid. Reds stance revealed. So this is going to be about the Saudis wanting two Liverpool players. I'm going to predict it's Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz. And then we're going to be looking for the stance, like Liverpool's attitude in the possibility of whether they would entertain this, because it doesn't say Reds stance suggested, it says revealed. All right, so we want, based on this headline, two players, all right, and I think it's going to be those two, and we also want to know exactly the revelation concerning Liverpool's attitude towards this. This is written by someone called Mark Bruss. We've heard of him before. My initial thoughts regarding this is it's caught offside, so it's going to be a load of shite, but you never know. Let's see. Liverpool are facing serious interest. So they're not currently experiencing it, then, are they? If they're facing it, or is that wrong? Facing, I'm facing a good telling off from my missus means you're going to get it. She's going to fucking get it. What I mean is, it's already a disclaimer, if you know what I mean. I always look for, when I do an exclusive, for the get out, right? And it's saying Liverpool are facing. It doesn't mean Liverpool are currently on the receiving end of that interest. Am I being wrong with that one, or am I reading that wrong? You let me know, please. You could be typing that up right now. Liverpool are facing serious interest in two big name players. Not two players, big name players. Every player at Liverpool's fucking big name anyway. From Saudi Pro League giants Al Hilal, ahead of this summer's transfer window. Sources, can you smell that? Bullshit, innit? Sources with a close understanding of the situation. It wouldn't sound right, would it, if he said sources that don't really know fucking anything? So they've got to say close understanding of the situation. Have informed caught offside, that both Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz are being targeted by Al Hilal. We've heard these suggestions already, right? We've heard these suggestions already, which I think is lazy journalism anyway. And over the years of doing Cop Talk, right, I've seen this multiple times, right? So when Abramovich took over Chelsea, all of a sudden Chelsea were linked with everyone and everything, right? Every player going. It was so easy for a journalist to say, and there's interest from Chelsea. And it's easy for an agent to get behind that. If his client's getting interest from a club, well, Chelsea are interested as well. It was Chelsea, and then it became Manchester City. Saw it a little bit with Newcastle, but not too much. But definitely Chelsea, definitely Manchester City, always throwing them names in. And now the Saudis, right? But you know what? The majority of stuff I see written about the Saudis, I think is absolute nonsense. I do. I just think it's lazy journalism, guys. It's very easy to link a player with a move to Saudi. And if you're an agent that's involved in transfer negotiations, contract negotiations for an existing client, or maybe even move, with an existing club, or maybe even a new club. It's very easy to then throw in Saudi interest to try and get more Wonga. Oh, well, we might as well go over there then. I think they were doing this during the contract negotiations we've seen at Liverpool over the last year, to the point where Liverpool would have gone, oh, but if you can go to Saudi, go and get the money then. It just doesn't work with Liverpool. In other words, I'm very suspicious every time I see Saudi clubs mentioned. I'm not saying it's bullshit with this, but it's just so easy for so-called journalists to do this. Goes on about the availability of Nunes, and that Slot would rather not sell Diaz, according to Court of Sides, sources. But a bid in a region of 80 million could also be enough for them to consider a sale. That's euros. Luis Diaz, I'm sure I did a video on here today about Luis. I did do it. What would it have been titled? Oh, I don't know. 1 second. To save me repeating myself. I'm on the wrong thing. Just 1 second, guys. I haven't done very well with my videos today. I must apologise. I genuinely think all of my videos today have been shit. I do, honestly. I tell you what, it's the last exclusive, I think, guys. Yeah, the last exclusive was the one about Luis Diaz. Basically, they're saying here about, Liverpool could sell him for a bid in the region of 80 million euros, but I don't want to really go over it all again. It's obviously he wants to go to Barcelona. They want him. They've got financial problems at the moment. Can it be resolved? If he commits to a new deal with Liverpool, which was the last exclusive, or if he ties himself down with another club elsewhere, he closes the door on Barcelona. Luis Diaz is going to hold out as long as possible in the hope that Barcelona come for him. Bold. We've got some bold writing now. Darwin Núñez transfer away from Liverpool looks inevitable. You don't need to put exclusive in front of that, do you? Goes on about him. The former Benfica man has admirers in Saudi. Newcastle United. I don't believe Newcastle United are interested in him at all. They're an ambitious club. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that. Atletico Madrid. We know that they've had interest before. Liverpool have had interest in Alvarez. Atletico Madrid need a new striker because of Griezmann's situation, I think he's given them another year. We want rid of the Alvarez, the Atletico Madrid stuff. All is too convenient for me. It is currently understood that Liverpool's 80 million euro asking price would have to come down for those clubs to enter into any formal negotiations for Núñez. Will Luis Diaz stay or go this summer? Diaz, meanwhile, is a tricky topic for Liverpool. There's been past interest from Barcelona and PSG, which never materialised. This is where this is nonsense, because the interest from Barcelona is not past interest. It's current, it's present. They will do anything to sign him if they can. They will, guys. But they can't at the moment because of the 1-4 rule in the Spanish financial situation. I don't need to go over it again, do I? 1-1, the 1-1 rule, is what Barcelona had earlier in the year, where if you spend 60 million euros, you've got to get 60 million euros in your account somehow. With the 1-4 rule, if they wanted to spend 60, 70 million euros on Diaz now, they can't just get that in. They need to get 175 million in to be allowed to spend that money. Does that make sense? I'm not sure about PSG's interest in him, whether that's believable or not. I've seen it mentioned before. I've never believed it because I just think he wants Barca and they want him. Anyway, it says it could seriously test Liverpool's resolve, but the club will surely need to have a top-class replacement brought in if they agree to this sale. Court of Side understands that Brentford's Brian Abuemo is one player who has been considered for this summer, and he could work well due to his ability to play centrally or out wide. That's the end of the article. Now, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the article. We said we think it's going to be about those two players, and it was. Red stance revealed. Did you see a revelation? Did you see anything to do with Liverpool? I mean, what was that then? Arne Slot would rather not sell Diaz. The club's stance, there we go, is that a bid in the region of 80 million euros could be enough for them to consider a sale for for Diaz. Sorry, it's a load of shite. It's crap. And this is the level of journalism today. This isn't some poxy like fan site trying to pass off as a fan site, just trying to get clicks. This is caught offside. This is supposed to be a serious website. This is a website that has people like Jacobs and Romano writing for them. You know what I mean? It is so. I feel so much for the fans. I really do, of all clubs, because there is no real journalism out there anymore, football journalism. There isn't, because even the journalists that we know, that we put in the click, James Pearce, David Lynch, Melissa Reddy, they're all dreadful. You know what I mean by it? I don't mean on a personal level. There might be really nice people, but I mean that, the clubs, plural, they control everything today. Old-fashioned, no journalist would dare run something without the consent of a club, so you can forget your genuine exclusives anymore. And then you get young fans that read stuff like this, that get their hopes up. Maybe not that, because it's not about Liverpool buying players, really. But I genuinely feel for people that aren't experienced and don't know how it all works, because how do you know who to trust? Do you know what I mean? They used to be able to pick up a newspaper. And of course, newspapers, there was good and bad, and good journalists and bad journalists. But you used to be able to open your browser on the internet, and be able to read a news article without all the advertising, and try and get some proper, reporting. I can't think of one decent Liverpool fans website today. Do you know that? I can't. And Cop Talk, my website, coptalk.com, which I launched in the 1990s. Listen, if you go and have a look at coptalk.com right now, and you'll see a couple of articles on the front page. I did one today and one yesterday. You won't see these adverts on there. You won't see speculative nonsense. If I was publishing those articles today, like I do my videos and things, it would be the best website there is for Liverpool fans. But unfortunately, writing a news article is very time consuming. And revenue, to generate and to exist, because Cop Talk is my only source of income, right? I wouldn't be able to survive with that, because the people that read those articles are not very loyal. They wouldn't think to themselves, the majority of them wouldn't think to themselves, this is different. I'm not getting plastered with adverts. My experience of reading this is good. I can see that this is a thought out, in-depth article. I'll support this website. They won't do it. Do you know what I mean? They just don't do it. I'm lucky that I've got my VIP members that have supported me for years, right? So my focus is them now. But I used to write 10, 12 news articles a day, But people generally, even if they can support you, they won't do it. And that means they won't even share an article or comment on an article or something. So it's easier to do a video where you can speak very detailed and maybe quicker than writing a news article, where adverts are forced upon those people. So at least it generates some revenue for your time. I love writing news articles, but I could write 10 or 12 news articles in a full day, and that might generate £3 in revenue. Do you know what I mean? Because nobody will actually support you. Nobody's forced to support you, but it's all changed. What I'm trying to say here is how it's changed. So years ago, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, advertising revenue was substantial. We're talking thousands and thousands of pounds a month, so it was worth writing those news articles. And it didn't matter who supported you. But when you're a one-man band like me, and you are a genuine fan, and Cop Talk's been my life, there's only my daughter that helps me with it, right? You need to generate revenue. But even though you need to generate revenue, I don't do the clickbait, and I don't do the adverts, I don't recommend this product, that fucking product. You know what I mean? So what's happened is people are subjected to all the bullshit and all the fake exclusives and all that advertising and stuff. And in some ways, it's their own fault, because when they had a chance to support the good websites, because there used to be some very good Liverpool websites Forget Cop Talk. There used to be some very good Liverpool websites. One of them we mention on here still today, which is a very speculative now, very clickbaity website, but it never used to be. But what they've had to do, if you think about what I'm saying from my point of view, is they've probably put a lot of effort in trying to give a sensible, mature, decent website for fans to read, but they didn't get the support, I suspect. And they've gone down the road of, do you know what, fuck you, we're just going to clickbait the fuck out of you. And it would be very easy for me to do that. And my revenue would go through the roof. But I can't do that because Cop Talk's become a massive community of good people. And only a fraction support you, but they become your friends. And how can you do that to them? How can you mislead them? Do you know what I mean? But I can understand why the fan sites that used to be very good are now very shit, because they've basically said, well, you didn't support us when you could have done. Wouldn't have cost you much, you know, to share an article or to tell your friends or whatever. So they've gone, fuck you, we're going to fucking clickbait you. And that's what it is. There isn't a decent thing now in terms of that. And then when you look at the big publications, the big media organisations, you know, they're churning out, you know, the likes of this shite here, they're just churning out these fake exclusives because the industry's fucked. So they also have to try and generate as much traffic as possible. And then that's why they get people like Fabrizio Romano writing for them, because they know he'll bring traffic in. Do you know what I mean? The state of play really on the internet in terms of getting news is dreadful. Truly dreadful. Even your YouTube channels here where you've got people putting a Liverpool shirt on and they've got pictures of Liverpool players on in the background to show that they're a fan. Even they resort to misleading. They know that when they make videos for you, that they don't believe what they're saying. They know that because they're more bothered about that. So it's very difficult to find someone, I think, that will try and give you, you know, genuine news and genuine opinion. I try that, but I'm going to say that, Anna, that's for you to decide whether I adopt those techniques of those people or not. I prefer to do it with like, look, I'm not going to clickbait you. We're going to have a giggle sometimes with an headline maybe, you know. But overall, I would rather say at the end of my videos, hey, if you want to get me a coffee or a beer, those of you that can, that'd be very appreciative. And that helps me keep this place free of the bullshit, you know. But it's shit. It's really shit. And ironically, the ones that mislead you will be the ones that get the most traffic to the websites, the most subscribers on YouTube, and the most revenue. So just be careful. And remember, the more ads, the more bullshit. That's what I think anyway. So I guess I'm quite experienced with it all. I'm fortunate that with Cop Talk back in the 90s and early 2000, you know, I got a lot of money back then, guys. There's no doubt about it. Cop Talk was the most successful football fans website in the world and remains so to this day. Right, but the emphasis isn't on websites now for the reasons given. But I was lucky because they threw a lot of money at me, these big businesses that enabled me to get some form of security when I was younger in my 20s. You know what I mean? So today, I could do other things today away from Liverpool, away from football that would make more revenue for me and take up less time. But I love what I do. And the way I look at it is if people like your content, if they appreciate you, you know, try and make everyone feel welcome and be friends with them, and genuinely friends as well. They'll support you when they can. And support, if you follow my morning briefings on my other YouTube channel, support isn't about becoming a channel member or a VIP member. Those things help, absolutely. But support is also thumbsing up a video, leaving a comment, or, you know, on my morning briefings when I speak very openly and say I'm feeling a bit down, I've got struggles in my life, when someone steps up and says, hey, don't worry here for you. That's support as well. It's not all about being a fucking channel member or a whatever, VIP member. Do you know what I mean? But there's some people who won't even do that. There's some people won't even thumbs up a video. Some people can't because maybe they're watching on a specific device. So, and they're the people I've got no time for, you know. But the internet today, in terms of news coverage, is shocking. It's appalling. And I really do feel for the younger fans out there that they probably don't know what to fucking believe. But with this channel, my aim with this channel and the members website, but this channel when it comes to people that are not members or whatever, is to try and help them and say, I know we do these exclusives, but it's not just to like take the piss or say whether it's good or bad. It's to tell people where these rumours are coming from. Because then when someone publishes an exclusive, people then go and pass it off and mention it again and rehash things. And I think it's important to follow it back to where it came from. And if you watch my channel, you know that I spend my life doing this, almost 30 years. And you can then turn around and go, nah, Dunk's fucking suss that shit out. Do you know what I mean, guys? But I do like doing the exclusives. It gives us something to have a giggle about, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It would just be nice. I think people think I pick the exclusive to take the piss. I don't. It's just that they're that shoddy, you know? If we find an exclusive that's genuine and that, it'd be lovely to come on here and go, this is why you should believe the author. Do you know what I mean? But you don't get them, do you guys? All right, okay, listen, I think my videos today have been terrible, to be honest with you. I do. I don't think my videos have been very good today. I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes in my videos in terms of like, I don't know, my Galazzo Espana update today. I don't know, I just don't think I've done a very good job today entertaining people. Well, it's not about entertainment, but I don't know. I just don't think I've done a good job. Anyway, we'll start again tomorrow. All right, guys, I think that'll be it from me today. I've got a message. Gotta go. Guess what? If you enjoyed this video or you thought it made a bit of sense, thumbs up the video. Don't be selfish, thumbs up the video. I know you haven't all got time to comment because you're doing different things, but, you know, comments are good. And if you haven't commented for a while, just appearing once a month lets me know you're still all right, because I do remember you. And if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, you can hit the super thanks button. I'm not going out for a beer until Sunday. Sunday afternoon, I'm going on a sesh, definitely on Sunday. Big football game, local football game. If you see my morning briefing on my other channel at Duncan Oldham, you'll understand the importance of this game. So we'll be all meeting on Sunday afternoon for a few sherbets and that. But other than that, it's going to be a quiet weekend for me, guys. But I'll be back in the cafe tomorrow morning. I'll be back in the cafe tomorrow morning to review the Spanish football dailies for this channel and Galazzo Espana. So yeah, the thanks button, beer or coffee, always grateful. And I always give a shout out to everyone in my morning briefings. All right, guys, take it easy. Speak soon.